2023 and March 29, 2023, Governor Murray Healy signed into law an act making appropriations for the fiscal year 2023 to provide for supplementing certain existing appropriations for the certain other acts and activities and project. This act includes extension till March 31st, 2025 of the remote meeting provisions. August 19th, 2024, select board meeting will be conducted via remote participation by the board. The chair will grant permission to Western Media Channel to record the meeting and to anyone else who wishes to record it. And we're also doing live stream, if I recall correctly. Did I miss anything, Chris?
Nope.
Hope you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Update. Chair's update. Fire Station 1 open house will be held on October 26th. I hope folks can make this. It's always a good time. There'll be some great fire prevention tips for families and the children. And there'll be some great demonstrations on firefighting techniques, as well as our tactical rescue team will be doing some things. And folks can also get a tour of the firehouse if they so desire. We're ready and willing to help out with that. And I just heard through the grapevine that Domino's Pizza will be providing pizzas, which I think is a very nice gesture on their behalf, and thank them for that. The next thing I have to talk about is the Veterans Day observation, which will be held, take place on November 11th at 2024 at the Veterans Park. That's at Pond Street at High Street on the Manhattan Street side. In the event of inclement weather, the ceremony would need to be moved inside to the Josepha Jowdy Little Theater at Westwood High School. If the ceremony is to be moved, the town will send out an alert message call before the event and post information to the town website. Residents are encouraged to sign up for the alert. Westwood calls on the town website. Speakers will include our American Legion Commander Dick Pastor and Select Board Chair. Residents are encouraged to check the town website as we get closer to that. That's always a special event for me, since my dad was a lifer in the service and my sister was as well. And it's an important event. I hope folks can make that. Chris, you're on. How's that throat doing?
Thank you. Just as a quick update, the Department of Public Works received notification that the Washington Street from Gay Street to Clapboard Tree Street will be resurfaced as part of a state-offered municipal pavement program. The state offers this funding option for municipally owned route numbered roadways. So, for example, 1A being that route number. The state offers, the DPW pursued this program over a year ago and has now successfully secured a commitment from the state to have this work fully funded and completed. We're hoping by the end of the summer. We'll have some more information for you. We'll ask Todd and Brendan to attend one of your future meetings so they can describe the program and the work that will be going on. But I just want to say thank you to the DPW for their foresight, applying for this grant and then also receiving it. And that's my update. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Next, we're going to move on to a public hearing from Eversource, a petition for Conduit at 436 Washington Street. The Select Board will review this petition from Eversource to install a conduit on Washington Street to provide electric service to 436 Washington Street. Could I have a motion, please, Mary Ann?
You bet. I hereby move that we open the public hearing on the Eversource petition for a conduit at 436 Washington Street.
Thanks, Mary Ann. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Thanks, Rob. A roll call. Mary Ann?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. And our presenter is going to be, let me scroll down here. Let me back up. Just some background for the folks. Eversource Energy submitted a petition for permission to obtain a grant for location to install approximately 62 plus minus feet of conduit along Washington Street on the east side. This work is necessary to provide electric service to 436 Washington Street. The area of work is located on Washington Street, southerly approximately 626 feet northeast of Clapboard Tree Street. Plans were submitted August 12, 2024, filed with the town. And Eversource is required to submit a street opening permit with the Department of Public Works. a road closure permit from the town of Westwood. Partial road closure, per Eversource, will not shut down Washington Street to install the conduit. Eversource will be working with the Department of Public Works, Westwood Police, other police details, and other emergency services to have the lane open at all times. Lanes open in each direction for traffic flow and emergency vehicles. And Todd Corchin has weighed in on this, and he's been in communication with Eversource and our community economic developer, Nora Lockname. Nora, did you want to comment on this at all?
My only comment is that it would be essential to have this work done as soon as possible to allow for the new mixed-use building to open.
Thank you, Nora. And who do we have from Eversource?
Hi, Jackie Duffy, Eversource. How are you tonight?
Jackie, welcome. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
We'd like to install approximately 62 feet of conduit to provide electric service to 436 Washington Street. And this is a mixed commercial and residential building.
Thank you. Mary Ann, any questions, thoughts, comments?
No questions. It seems quite straightforward and also time sensitive. I actually, Jackie, I do understand that there is some urgency to getting this done. Is Eversource prepared to get this work done promptly?
Yes, I will put in the email to, tomorrow when I release this, saying that it needs to be done ASAP.
And what do you think that looks like in
Today's
actuality?
Monday. I'd say probably next week or the week after they'll be able to get it in. I don't know what their schedule is.
Nor does that meet our purposes?
That does.
Great. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you.
You're
Nora.
welcome.
Rob, any thoughts, comments?
No additional questions from me, Joe. Pretty straightforward.
Thanks. Tish, anything in the queue there?
No questions right now.
Jackie, the only question I have is I noticed the conduit was going across the front of the Dunkin' Donuts establishment there. And I didn't see anything in the material submitted as far as, are they aware of this? Has anyone spoken with them, and what arrangements have been made?
That I am not sure of.
It looks like all, well, the public hearing notice was published, and also that letters were sent to all abutters within 300 feet of the location.
I'm just not sure if they talk to them. That's my thing. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I guess, Marion, my concern is, shoot, that's a pretty busy spot, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. How are we going to handle? Are there any arrangements in the works to address their business staying open or help drivers negotiate the construction site?
I'm sure we'll have a police detail on that could probably work with the traffic flow. And we could talk to Dunkin' Donuts if you'd like. Or you can make a time.
Jackie, that probably wouldn't hurt, let's make sure we dot all the i's, cross all the t's, and these folks can get the customers in and out without a lot of hassle. And you're right, the police detail will be helpful, but I just didn't see anything on the submission in regards to it's right across the whole front. It's not like they can.
Right.
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
as far as the police detail, that will be a requirement from our chief of police. So Eversource will have to work with a police department to make sure they procure a police detail for this project.
Oh, no, I get that, Chris. I'm just thinking that why not give folks the heads up that a day or two before they drive down Washington Street, they back it up to the Everett Street intersection. What's the harm there?
No, I don't see any harm with that. Maybe there's something, Jackie, Eversource could work with DPW, some electronic signboards, providing people advance notice as well.
That, and I was thinking of a time, I'm just thinking of me going to get my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and I would maybe change the time to a little bit later in between. Like, I mean, I go at 6 o'clock to get mine, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what their busiest time would be. 6 to 9, maybe you could say we could start after that. That's just me.
Yeah,
talking
no,
about my
I hear you,
babies.
Jackie. I just want to make sure we have some dialogue and make sure we're all on the same page. My guess is they won't be down to that part of it till later in the morning or early afternoon, but if we just give folks a heads up, I think that'd go a long ways.
Okay, so sideboards.
Whatever your team decides is best.
Okay,
All right. Any other discussion? Mary Ann, we'd like to make a motion.
Sure. Is there any public comment before we do that?
There is no public comment.
All right, happy to propose a motion. I hereby move that the select board grant permission to NStar Electric DBA Eversource Energy for a grant of location to install approximately 62 feet of conduit on Washington Street, southerly, approximately 626 feet northeast of Clappertree Street, to provide electric service to 436 Washington Street. Eversource must perform a full pavement restoration within the excavated trench following the proposed work and obtain the necessary permits as required by the Department of Public Works and other town departments. The select board held and duly posted tonight's public hearing, including notices to abutters.
Second, the motion is made.
Any discussion on the motion? Mary Ann?
No discussion on the motion. I vote aye.
Thank you. Rob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Mary Ann, any more motions there on your desk?
Yes, sir. I hereby move that the select board close the October 21, 2024 public hearing for Eversource petition for Conduit, Washington Street to provide service to 436 Washington Street.
Second.
Roll call. Mary Ann?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Thank you, Jackie.
thank you. Have a nice night, everybody.
You
You
too.
too. Nora, I think we're up to Del Frisco's Grill.
All right, this is an application for a change of manager at Del Frisco's, and I believe we're being joined by Alexander Osborne, who is the proposed new manager, and Lisa Burgess, who's the director of licensing for Del Frisco's. So this application introduces and requests approval of Alexander Osborne as the new manager of record for Del Frisco's at 60 University Avenue. Alexander resides in Dedham. He meets all the conditions of local manager under Mass ABCC requirements and the select board's requirements. He's been with Del Frisco since September of 2022, and before that he was a manager at Brasserie. All required documents have been submitted. Corey's forms have been reviewed and the results were favorable, and the Alcohol Review Committee reviewed this request and unanimously recommends the board's approval.
Thank you, Nora. Mary Ann, any questions or thoughts?
I have no questions. Thank you. Thank you, Nora.
Rob?
No questions from me.
Great. Anything in the queue, Tish?
No questions at this time.
Great. Mary Ann, would you like to make a motion?
I would. I hereby move that the select board approve the change of manager application naming Alexander Osborne, the manager of record at Del Frisco's Grille of Massachusetts, LLC, DBA Del Frisco's Grille, pending Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission approval, and to allow for the electronic signatures of the select board to be affixed to the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission Licensing Authority Certification Form.
Second, the motion.
Any discussion? Roll call. Mary Ann?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries. Thank you, Nora. And I think, Nora, you're up for our next one.
All right, so our next one is a one-day license request for the 2024 Turkey Afterburner. This would be a bike ride and event at Hale Reservation. It's sponsored by the Southeast chapter of the New England Mountain Bike Association. The applicant is George Lester from NEMBA. And the proposal is for the event to take place at Cat Rock Field and Pavilion on Sunday, December 1st. The event would run from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. It would involve Shovel Town Brewery, who would be the tip certified alcohol servers, and food would be provided by Gonzalez Food Truck. Gonzalez has already received their temporary food permit from the health department, and they're all ready to go. The request would be to allow alcohol to be brought onto the premises as early as 7:30 a.m. and removed as late as 6 p.m. on Sunday, December 1st. So the Alcohol Review Committee reviewed this as well, and they recommend unanimously that the board consider granting approval for this, subject only to public safety inspections.
Terrific. Mary Ann, any questions or comments?
No, not for me.
Rob?
None for me.
I don't see anything in the queue. Tish, do you have anything in there?
No, no questions.
Terrific. Mary Ann, we'd like to make a motion.
I would. I hereby move that the select board approve a one-day special wine and malt license to George Lester on behalf of Southeast Mass New England Mountain Bike Association. The one-day special wine and malt license is to serve alcohol on Sunday, December 1, 2024, from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., with the time to set up and remove alcohol from the premises from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday, December 1, 2024, pending final public safety inspections. Also, for the electronic signatures of the select board to be affixed to the Southeast Mass New England Mountain Bike Association one-day special license.
Second the motion.
Any discussion on the motion? Mary Ann, roll call. Mary Ann?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well to grant the one-day special wine and malt license. And George, I see you here, and thank you for all your hard work on these type of events. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's basically, this is just carbon copy of what we've done each of the last 2-3 years when you've granted permit, and we appreciate it. And it goes well. It raises money for Hale youth mountain bike programs, as well as trail work projects we do in the area. So again, thank you very much.
Kudos to you, George. Kudos to you and the association. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Should I just sign off now?
Sure.
Okay.
You're off the hook.
Okay, thank you. Is there a next step to get a piece of paper or actual written document online that we need to post it on site a day of or something like that?
Karen Flynn will be in touch with you tomorrow, and she will post what you need to the portal, the application portal. Will you?
Oh, okay, great, awesome. I have access to that. Excellent. Thank you so much again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, George. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Brings us down to Fire Station 1 update. Miss Molly, you're on.
Hello, good evening. So very quick update since our, last meeting of the board, we've hosted the first community meeting. That was September 16th, which I'm delighted to say was well attended. Since then, we've moved on to the permitting phase of this project, with the project going before both the planning board and the Conservation Commission on October 15th. That meeting is posted online if anybody wants to review it. Over the next several weeks, the project will go before the planning board and conservation again, as well as the zoning board of appeals. And the next large update about this project for the select board will be at your November, I believe it's the 18th meeting.
Terrific. Mary Ann, Rob, do you folks have any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
No questions from me.
Okay.
Joe, I'm gonna ask if we have a couple more things that we are voting, if we could get to those, because I'm actually over here at the public health meeting in Norwood to hear more about Norwood Hospital and to convey the urgency of getting this solved for us.
You know, Rob, it didn't look the same to me when I looked at the back. What specifically do you want me to hop on?
No, I think I think we only have two more things to vote, so.
Okay. Let's get Dottie up. Dottie, you want Dottie Powers, our town clerk, you want to talk about the posting of the state and presidential election warrant?
You're on mute, Dottie.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. And we're just excited. We're getting ready for the big election coming up in a few weeks. And I'm here tonight to have you ask for you to vote to sign the warrant, which has to be posted 7 days before for the November 5th state election.
All right. What would you like us to do?
I'm happy to make that motion, Joe.
Okay, thanks.
I hereby move that the select board sign and post the November 5, 2024 state and presidential election warrant, and for the warrant to be posted by the constables throughout the town and online on the town website.
Second.
Roll call, Mary Ann?
Aye.
Rob?
All right.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Molly? Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Dottie.
I was
Yep.
just going to give you a little bit of an update, just so
Sure.
that the
Yep.
public that's listening has an idea of what's going on. So there's a couple of important dates to remember. Right now, we're in the early voting stage in person. So we have early voting for the next 2 weeks through November 1st. The schedules are on the town website, so you can take a look there, or you can call the town clerk's office. And deadline to register to vote for anybody that's new in town or people that have not registered yet. That registration deadline will be Saturday, October 26th. The town clerk's office will be open until 5 p.m. that day. And you can vote, you can register to vote online as well up until 11:59 p.m. The deadline to apply, so we've had many people apply for vote by mail ballots. In fact, we've had 4,832 ballots that have been sent out. I want to have kudos to my election team, my staff that worked really hard to get all those out. And now we're just waiting for them to come back. We've received back close to 1,900. And that's another thing, if I can urge anybody who has applied for a vote by mail ballot, it's very costly, it's very time consuming, and we would appreciate it if you get those back. The envelopes that are included are postage paid, so you don't have to pay any postage. If you would rather drop your ballot off in person, you can do that at the town clerk's office or in the ballot drop box in front of the police station. And if you can get those back before election day, that would be truly appreciated. The deadline to apply for a ballot to be mailed to your home is October 29th at 5 p.m. And
Thank you.
election day, that's November 5th. School will be closed that day, so there should be no problem with people finding parking that day. And we will be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Dottie, thank you very much. I just wanted to add, I've got the early in-person voting schedule in front of me, just to remind folks that the early voting is at the police station. And for all of the weekdays between now and Friday, November 1st, voting starts at 8 a.m. on the weekdays at the police station and 10 a.m. on Saturday, October 26th. So thank you so much for all that you're doing, Dottie, and to your team.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Dottie. Tish, did I skip over the acceptance of grant award? I'm looking at two agendas here.
You did.
I did.
You
Okay.
did. I
Who's-
know that.
Who's speaking on that grant award? Chris, are you?
Yes, I can, Mr. Chair.
Thanks.
This is asking the select board to accept a FY25 municipal road safety grant in the amount of $24,045.02. That's been awarded to our police department. On September 25th, the Hale Driscoll administration announced the award of approximately $12.4 million in federal traffic safety funding Chief Silva has stated that the police department will use this funding to conduct targeted traffic enforcement, such as hands-free driving, impaired driving, pedestrian safety, and general safety patrol to supplement the patrol that they are already doing. So we're asking the select board to accept this grant in the amount of $24,045.02.
Thank you, Chris. Mary, any thoughts or questions, comments?
No questions. I'm happy to make the motion when you're ready.
And kudos to the Chief Silver for applying for that grant. Oh, good, Rob, you're back. Okay, I'm ready, Marion, please.
Okay, I hereby move that the select board accept the $24,045.02 FY25 Municipal Road Safety Grant as awarded to the town of Westwood and the police department.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, Mary Ann,
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries. And I'm going to skip the review of the meeting dates and just pop up to reappointments of boards. If Mayor Rob, I think you want to get the voting stuff out of the way. We don't need to review the meeting dates. And the appointments, I believe, we have 3 election officers. And Youth and Family Service Advisory Board and 1 member. For the Dottie, do you want to talk about your candidates, or would you like me to just read their names?
You can just read their names, Joe.
Okay, thanks, Dottie. So we have Elizabeth Aroned, Arlene Bresner, and Alice Smith as election officers. I'm going to do this one fell swoop to help Rob out here. Youth and Family Service Advisory Board appoint Chris Elcock, Student Resource Officer. Chris is current Student Resource Officer, will replace Brad Pendell on the Youth and Family Services Advisory Board. Officer Pendell's appointment was through June 30th, 2025. So we ask the board to appoint Officer Elcock through June 30th, 2025 to serve as the remainder of the appointed term. Officer Pendell did an outstanding job. So Chris, good luck filling those shoes. I'm ready for a motion, Mary Ann.
I hereby move that the select board appoint Elizabeth Arend, Arlene Bresner, and Alice Smith as election officers for terms to end on June 30, 2025.
Thank you.
Motion seconded. Roll call, Mary Ann.
Aye.
Rob.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well.
And secondly, I move that the select board appoint Chris Elcock as a member of the Youth and Family Services Advisory Board for a term to end on June 30, 2025.
Second.
Roll call, Mary Ann.
Aye.
Rob.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries. Rob, I think you're off the hook. I'm looking forward to an update. Thanks very much for doing that. And the next item I had is, we do have a vacancy. Gary Yasalian, who's done an outstanding job, at the Dedham Western Water District, notified us of his intention to resign from the Water District Board effective December 31st. This is a very, very important board in our town and the town of Dedham as well. He's resigning at the end of his term. The town clerk asked Mr. Yasalian to submit his resignation writing. And once we receive that, we'll post the vacancy on the town website through Western Water, including that draft Dedham Western Water District vacancy posting. Marion, do you have anything else to add to that? Or Chris?
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Sure.
We do most of our appointments on our fiscal year, July 1st. The Dedham Westwood Water District's appointments are done on a calendar year. So Mr. Yasalian's term is up at the end of the calendar year, 12/31, 2024.
Joe, I just wanted to add my thanks to Gary Yasalian for his many years of dedicated service in that position.
Thanks, Mary Ann, and I agree with you. And Pat, just for the folks at home, Gary's term is up 12/31/2024.
That's correct. The Dedham Westwood appointments run on a calendar year. Ours run on, our town appointments run on a fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for making that point, Pat. Appreciate it. All right. Mary Ann, do you have any, I think we're down to, let me check with who's really in charge here. Tish, I think we're down to the select board meeting dates. Have I missed anything?
You have not. I didn't know if you were going through to get the motions. I don't know if you wanted Rob to be here for the regular meeting minutes, if you want to approve those. Or do you want, we can discuss the meeting minutes if you like first.
Why don't we do that? Sounds like Rob's doing something a little bit more important in my estimation, unless you see otherwise, Mary Ann.
I agree with you.
Okay. All right, so let's move that to our next one. Liaison reports. Mary Ann, do you have any? I don't have anything on the dog park. Do you have anything on the Canton Street project?
We are going to be meeting this Wednesday. That's October 23rd, 6 p.m. Tish? 7 p.m. Thank you. And can you remind me where we ended up with the location?
We're at the Westwood Main Library in the community room.
Thank you. We had to look into a number of venues, and thank you to Tish for all of your help with scheduling. So we will be meeting this Wednesday. Looking forward to that. I can also report that the Commission on Disability is working on vetting the ADA self-assessment. Looking forward to coming to the select board with that in the next few months. And the Human Rights Task Force will be meeting later this week as well. That's what I've got. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Ann. And I should follow up with the Housing Partnership Fair Housing group. Amanda Wolf is doing a yeoman's job trying to get that scheduled, and it had to be rescheduled, and I think she has a second date picked out. Otherwise, I think we're in good shape. Regular meeting minutes. Did you get a chance to look at those, Mary Ann?
I did.
Okay. Any thoughts?
I thought we were deferring those to the next meeting.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Any other business? Tish, anything in the queue?
No, and then you don't want to discuss the meeting minutes at the next meeting as well?
Please.
Not the meeting minutes, meeting dates?
Yes, we'll do those two at the next meeting. Public and press. Anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions?
No questions.
All right. Our next meeting will be held on November 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m. via Zoom. Mary Ann, I'll take a motion since you're going around the world here to get out of here. So a motion, please.
I move to adjourn.
And I'll second that out of necessity. Roll call, Mary Ann.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.